Alright, welcome to the dungeon. Today we have a special treat. To anybody that's been airbrushing for, 10 plus years, they know that this is a very sought after brush, and you can't find them. They're like next to impossible to find. So I was on Facebook Marketplace and I saw this for $50. And what I'm talking about is, of course, the Paasche AB Turbo. Okay, this brush has never been used. Still has the inspected by sticker on it, which I've been dying to peel off, but I've been waiting for you. And I'd like to say shout out to Corinne, the nice lady who sold me this airbrush. And feast your eyes. Corinne said that her husband bought this for doing duck decoys for shows, and he never got to use it. I'm not sure why he stopped, but she said that she's pretty sure he had never put paint in this. So, and it appears to be the case. Now, normally I start with taking the airbrush apart. All I'm going to do here is take off the handle and show you that there's no needle sticking out like normal. This is completely different. So I have no idea how to take this apart and put it back together. If I do take it apart, am I going to put it back together wrong? I don't know, so I'm not going to bother with that. I noticed that the trigger, you have your up and down, but then when you pull back, it's hinged here at the top, not down inside like when you're pushing a needle back. So I'm not sure how this mechanism works. I know that there's a turbo in here, and I usually overdub everything so that we don't have to listen to my compressor kicking on. But when we start spraying with this, we're going to leave that going, at least at first, because I want to share the sound of that turbo with you. So, that being said, comes with a little tool and a wrench. Okay, so that being said, let's fire this baby up and see what it'll do. Now, I have a adapter in here. It came with a hose, but I opted to use the adapter that I already have. So, okay, so that's the air. There's the turbo. Okay. Now, okay, it's got to be able to. This is, I think that's a screw. Control the turbo speed, I believe. Okay. Turn this down. I understand that these are supposed to be supposed to be high. It's obviously a learning curve to this turbo. But I don't know if I need to. I don't know what needs to be adjusted. Do I need? All right. Yeah, there's a lot of little things to push and pull and twist and turn. And I'm sure I'll zero in on it and figure it all out, but eventually I'll have to research what all these pieces do, what all the adjustments do, and how they're preferably set to get the most detail out of this brush, because this is a detail illustration brush, so I'm going to keep that in mind. It's fun though. It's very fun to use. Yeah, see, there's this adjustment. There's this adjustment, which I don't know what that is. Yeah, once I figure it out, it seems to be operational. I just don't know what I'm doing. Now, I'm going through some of this at double speed to get through, and but every once in a while I'll bring you back to real time. You can listen to the turbo and see the difference in how it sounds as I learn to gain control over it. So. It's just about adjusting. You got to find that sweet spot of air pressure, and I'll probably have to use my bigger compressor because okay. So there's a lot of little, I'm making tons of little adjustments here and there, and now I just dropped a little alcohol in, and I was, you know, that's pitting. That's because I did, like I said, I dropped a little alcohol in, but I didn't really mix it because you can't really bubble it. So I just kind of switched it back and forth a little bit. So you're going to want to mix outside of the brush. Okay, still can't get the tiny dots. Okay, now that could be a problem. So I gotta figure it out. Did I touch it with the tip? I don't know. But yeah, that's something that has to be figured out. Because I do know that this brush will do insanely tiny detail. But it's just not the same as your normal run-of-the-mill dual action airbrush. It's a completely different animal. But as I adjust little things here and there, it seems like I'm getting better and better. I got to learn what each of these adjustments is and exactly what it does. And only then will I be able to really zero in on the settings as I want. If it keeps them, if I keep making headway with it like this, I'll definitely be putting it into my rotation, actually start using it in some art. Yeah, it's already more more responsive than my my Infinity is currently. So yeah. Okay, we're really starting to get somewhere with this. I'm not sure if this thing gets tip dry, but I assume that there's some kind of buildup in there, so let me take a brush and just kind of clean that area off.
That has a steady enough air.
Okay, now it seems like when the compressor stops and you got a nice full tank, got plenty of air, then it seems to spray finer. I just added a bunch of alcohol, way over reduced this to see what happens. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now this is mostly alcohol. So, yeah, is it gonna require a lot of thinning? I have to adjust all the settings the way I need, and is alcohol gonna be the best thing to thin with, or should I use like 40-21 or distilled water? So, but yeah. I got a hold of some of those Schminke colors. I think I'll give it a try. I'll throw a little green in and see what it does. Okay. I went back to overdub because the compressor noise is just too off-putting. So now the green's starting to come through. There's still a little black in the cup, so it's going to start getting darker because it's mixing, but it sprays pretty nice. I'm throwing couple drops of alcohol in there. I can't wait to try these Schminke inks in a conventional airbrush. But yeah, that flows nice. And I'm starting to really get control of this brush. Yeah, so yeah, the more I spray with it, the more control I seem to get. I think the blotchy spitting is because I had the brush too full and leaned it too far forward to where the material would make its way over the little head, because it's got a weird way the needle comes from the side and goes through a split in the little ball end, and then the air comes from the other direction. So it's really strange. I mean, it's also awesome because, kind of like with a side feed where you don't want the cup in the way, it doesn't spray straight forward like you expect, but it doesn't need to, because it puts your eye right on the work. Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing. And for left-handers, there's a way to configure it for left-handed. I guess it's a different attachment, but I haven't seen the left-handed version. But yeah, it's incredible. I can see why people like this brush. So that being said, grab yourself one if you can find it. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Catch you later. Bye.